Today I'm going to show you how to make a mini pencil and sticky notes for your model horse barn. First thing we're going to make are sticky notes. What you're going to need for your sticky notes are highlighters, scissors, a ruler, Elmer's glue, and some white scrap paper, a pen. First thing you're going to need is some scrap paper and a highlighter of any color. You can take your highlighter and color a small little box all the way. Once you have a good amount of your paper colored, you are going to take your scissors and cut out a small chunk about the size that you want your sticky notes to be. You've cut your sticky note, make sure to cut the edges to make sure that it's even. You can take your pen and sticky note, put it against the paper on the edges, and you can do a small little line every so often, and this will help us make sure the ruler is straight. Now take your ruler, pick the flat end, and try to line them up the best you can. Now take your sticky note again and figure out the size of it. Lay it against the flat end and do a small little line in between, right next to it. And this will help you cutting. You can repeat the last step as many times as you want to make as many sticky notes. After you've cut out as many pieces as you would like, take your Elmer's glue and rub it on the edge of your sticky note. Then, take another sticky note and place it on top. Again, put glue on the top, just on the edge. Take your next sticky note and put it on the top of that one. And repeat for the rest of the sticky notes you have until you've reached the top. After you have glued your sticky notes together, make sure that they're as even as possible. Now you can take your scissors and cut off a tiny bit of the ends if you have any overhangs. You can do the same thing with the side, just not the top where you glued. Try to make that as even as possible. If you are having a little trouble with sticking with the glue, you can take a tiny bit of super glue and just dab it very lightly at the top. Be careful not to get it on you. If you did choose to use super glue, make sure that you let dry before the next step. After your glue has been all dried, you can take a pen and flip it over to the white side and draw tiny little squiggly lines as little writing, like Post-its do have on the back. If you would like, you can also write Post-it on the back, very small. Like this. After your glue has been all dried, you can take a pen and flip it over to the white side and draw tiny little squiggly lines as little writing, like Post-its do have on the back. If you would like, you can also write Post-it on the back, very small. Like this. Now we have made our sticky notes. They are able to flip like this, like real sticky notes. I hope you enjoyed. The next step is to make our mini pencil to go with our Post-its. What you will need is black clay, brown clay, scissors, super glue, Elmer's roll-on glue, scissors, a marker, a ruler, some scrap paper, white, and a real pencil that you are allowed to use. For the first step, you are going to take some scrap paper and a marker, any color that you would like your pencil to be, and you are going to start a long skinny-ish strip, and then you can start coloring in your strip. Once you have colored in your paper, take your scissors and cut out a strip. Make sure that your strip has as even edges as possible. Then you can take your paper and start folding it. Make sure to roll it up to the length that you want. Once you have the right length decided, trim your paper, but leave a tiny bit of a hang. Now take some glue, rub it onto the edge, and then continue folding that flap over. Make sure to kind of squish your pencil on the sides so it looks a little bit flatter. You want it to look as round as possible. Now trim the base of your pencil to the right length that you would like. Remember, this is the middle of your pencil, so it doesn't have to be too long. For the next step, take your pencil and your scissors. You are going to cut a tiny indentation into the metal. Ask an adult for help with this step. Once you have the eraser piece out, cut it flat on both sides. After you have both sides flat, cut a small circle to make the eraser part. After you have your eraser cut, make sure that it's the right size to fit on top of your pencil piece. For the next part, take the metal piece that was holding your eraser on your pencil. Take scissors and cut a thin strip of it. This is what's going to make the metal piece on our pencil. You want a thin strip like this. Make sure not to cut yourself while cutting it. Now take your metal piece and your pencil piece. Make sure that your pencil piece is rounded. Take it and fit it around your pencil piece. It doesn't have to be on the top while you're just fitting. You might need to round out some edges on your own without the pencil piece. They actually had to cut a thinner piece because the piece that I had wasn't bending right for me and I accidentally broke it. Okay guys, so the metal that I was using wasn't working, so I had to cut another pencil metal piece off. But after you have folded it around, try to make it as circular as possible. You are going to take some super glue and dab it around. So you want your metal piece to come up right onto the edging. Then you can take a tiny bit of super glue and dab it on all over to make sure that that metal piece isn't coming off. So after your super glue on your metal piece has dried, you're going to take some more super glue. Make sure to do it over some paper so you don't get super glue anywhere. Bandage material actually does soak up super glue pretty good, so it doesn't leak through the paper onto your table. So make sure to dab it in super glue. Then you're going to take your tweezers, grab the eraser part, and stick it on. You do have to work somewhat faster than you would think because the paper absorbs the super glue so quickly. And just be careful that you release your grip every once in a while because super glue does leak through paper. So it might take a couple tries. After you've got your eraser piece glued on, make sure to add extra glue onto the sides to make sure that it holds on better. But now we can move on to the tip part. The tip, we are going to use brown clay and black clay to make this tiny little tip that actually I took off of my pencil. So you're going to take a tiny bit of brown clay. Not too much. Probably actually a little less than that. So more like this much brown clay. And like this much black clay. So that's how much clay you would want compared to like the sticky notes that you made, depending on the size of your pencil. So you're going to take your brown clay, make sure to warm it up. Same thing with your black clay, it makes it easier to work with if it's warmed up. So you can warm it just by moving it around. Okay, so now you're going to take this black piece and form it into a tip. And this brown piece, I'm gonna take a tiny bit less than what I have. And then you can take it and roll it like that. Then you can roll it more. Take off some of the excess. Come over to your pencil and add it on. Oh my god, that's still sticky. Like this. That is how you make your pencil. I hope you enjoy. That is how you make your mini pencil and mini sticky notes for your model horse barn.